Llano sent me their Volt Case 4-in-1 battery charger. I got the Canon version, but in this video, I'm going to talk about one of the features that this thing has that made it a game changer. Is the reason why I will take this on every shoot, no matter what, even if I don't need to charge my batteries. If you're new to this channel, definitely consider subscribing. I'd like to talk about cameras specifically for video and accessories as well, and today's accessory is no exception. This Volt Case 4-in-1 battery charger by Llano is one of the best devices that I think is the default go-to. Now, I've been using this case for about a week and a half, and I've had it in a couple of shoots, and in these shoots, it's actually not only come in handy, but actually been a key accessory for specific needs that I wanted. Now, let's talk about it. Now, in this view, I want to show you what it came with. Now, they sent me pretty much a pre-production model, so this was kind of more handmade, but once it's in production, you'll probably see more refined making of this product. So this is the actual charger. Now, it's got, when you open it up, one slot for an LPE6P battery or anything basically camera branded related here. And then there's this little handy holder where you can actually put an SD card. I'll just throw one in here as an example, and it'll hold an SD card here. But then you've also got a slot right here where you could actually put an SD card and use this as an SD card reader. This can support up to UHS-II SD cards, so it's got really fast transfer speeds, and of course it's backwards compatible with UHS-I, which is super cool. And then when we look at the front, we've got the power button and then this indicator. Right here we have the amount of power. If I press the power button, the amount of power that is already in the charger. Now I can charge this more up to 100%, but then there's a second slot right here where you can actually see how much power your battery in your camera has and when it's charging, which is pretty cool and convenient. It also has an indicator that shows you when you've got an SD card connected to a computer or when it's charging itself. It also came with a USB-C cable as well, and they recommend to use this USB-C cable whenever you're charging or whenever you're connecting it to a computer. And of course, you can use converters, like I've got a converter like this, to convert it to USB-A to be able to connect it to my computer if it didn't have USB-C. It's got this other really cool battery. This is actually advertised as an LPE6P battery on the back. It says it's got 2600 milliamp hours on the actual battery, which is different from the Canon LPE6P batteries, which is slightly less than that. However, I will say that the LPE6P batteries were designed specifically to work with the Canon R5 Mark II as an example, as I believe also the R1. But the Canon R5 Mark II, when you insert this battery, it does not let you use all of the video features. So you're limited to 4K, not oversampled 4K, just regular 4K at up to 30 frames per second and down from there. You also cannot record RAW. You can record the other formats, but you can't record RAW. So that's a downside when it comes to using anything that's not a Canon branded battery. It's cool that if I want to see how much power is left, you can just see that it lights up, and then it's pretty convenient that, okay, this is a spare battery that comes into use. You can use this with the Canon R5, the original Canon R5, and it'll work with all of the features as well, including being able to charge via USB-C to the camera when the camera is powered off, and then maintaining power if the camera is powered on with a compatible device. It comes with a nice little handy carry patch if you want to put it in a patch and then carry it with you. Though I found myself just carrying this on its own, put it in a camera bag, and when I need it, I just pop it in and start using it. So it's pretty cool from that perspective. So while using this device, which is pretty cool, I've found that it takes around 2.5 hours to charge 100% a Canon battery. You can charge about 2 Canon batteries from 0 to 100 on one single charge on this device, which is pretty cool and pretty convenient. It's actually quite similar to the last Llano 2-in-1 battery charger that I tested previously, which is right here as well. But this one also lets you charge the battery that it comes with. You see, this battery, not only can you see the charge status just by clicking this button on the front, but it's also got a USB-C connection right there. So you can actually plug in USB-C from this to this and charge it externally. So this has the ability to charge up to 2 batteries at the same time on one single device, though you'd have to use this particular battery in order to charge a separate battery while you're charging the Canon LPE6P battery here, or any similar comparable batteries from Canon brand. But what's cool is if you've got like the R5 or the R5 Mark II, you can also charge via USB-C directly to the camera as long as it's off, and you don't particularly need to charge this one when you can charge that. So you're still able to charge 2 batteries, regardless if it's this or if you're using another compatible Canon camera that lets you charge via USB-C. Although I've mentioned Canon a lot, this also supports batteries for Panasonic, Fuji, Nikon, and of course Sony. So there's more than one compatible model, but because I mostly own Canon cameras, this one's the one I really wanted to use and test out, and it made the most sense for me. Now, one of the features that I mentioned before was the fact that this can act as an SD card reader. Now, I connected this to my computer and I was testing the transfer speeds on my UHS-I cards, and I was able to get a steady 160 megabytes per second off of transferring from this with the included cable to my computer. Now, when using that same port, I connected a couple of my older SD card readers, and through the same ports, the fastest I was able to transfer is about 90 megabytes per second, which was a shame. Now, I'm not saying that 160 megabytes per second is the max, because I was using UHS-I cards. I'm using my computer, which of course has its own limitations with its ports, and the cables that I'm comparing it to with the older readers doesn't necessarily mean that I'm getting the fastest speed that I possibly can. I'm just sharing my experience. Use the cable that they provide. Use the fastest port that you have on your computer, preferably USB-C, and your results may vary, but it's still fast enough to where this is going to be my default SD card reader from now on, which I'm super excited about. But the number one thing which makes this so handy, and I have to share this with you guys. I mean, this has got a lot of features already. SD card reader, multiple, you can even charge your phone off of this thing, as well as your camera, if your camera supports it. I mean, this thing is so handy, and it's tiny too. Granted, I have big hands, but like this thing is perfect. A little bulky for pants pockets, but you can still make it work. At least slip it in a jacket, and of course it's going to fit in your camera bag, which is so reliable. But the most exciting thing, which I'm like, yes, I am taking you with me everywhere I go when I'm vlogging and when I'm shooting a video, is the fact that, now I mentioned that it's an SD card reader for the computer, and you can do that, but it also works with the phones. I've got an Android, and I tested it on my Android, and it works. Now, it was a little finicky at first, so I'm going to tell you exactly what I had to do. Because when you plug it in directly to a phone, the thing is going to act like, okay, I'm going to charge your phone. But when you hit the power button twice while connected, the device will switch to SD card, but then it suddenly disconnects for whatever reason. And I found that to be a little bit frustrating, because I'm like, I want to be able to transfer whatever I have on the SD card right to my phone, and this will do it fast. But when I'm connecting to the phone, unfortunately, what I'm getting is that it will connect and then disconnect immediately. But I found the solution to this is double press the power button right before you connect it to your phone. And I have an Android, so I don't know how it works for Apple. But on the Android, double press the power button, then I connect it, then I'm able to access all my media. And to be able to record a video on the go, connect it to my phone immediately, transfer the video that I just shot so I can upload it to social media or edit it right away on my phone and then send it to a client is fantastic. Yes, even though many camera brands allow you to wirelessly connect to your camera, to be able to do that anyway, you'll find that especially for video, transfer speeds can be a lot slower than desired. Whereas this, I transferred a video that was about a minute long in an instant because it's able to transfer as fast as it can through the USB-C port. And I was like super impressed, super happy. This thing is coming with me, and I will never stress the inability to transfer files from the SD card to my phone and then just go. And picture this, it's not just off of the camera, but if I need other files that are on an SD card, or if someone hands me a file that they want me to send somewhere else and it's on the SD card, I could do it immediately thanks to this device. Imagine someone records something on another camera. Hey, I want a copy of that. They hand me an SD card, pop it in this, connect it to my phone, transfer it over, hand them back the SD card, and then I'm good to go. It's not just for charging. That feature is just a game changer, and that's why I can really recommend this device for anyone who's looking for a portable solution for powering your camera, and also the extra feature of being able to support SD card transfers. But let me know what you guys think. Would you like to pick up one? I highly recommend it. Let me know in the comments down below. I'm also leaving a link so that you can check out the product yourselves. And yes, Llano did send this to me for review and test, but they did not have any say on my thoughts. These are purely mine, and I'd like to thank them because this thing is awesome. You can make my day if you subscribe today. This is Magnus, and I'm out. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.